Welcome candidate Kilby and candidate Streight. Thank you for your presence and participation this evening. At this time, you will have 90 seconds to introduce yourselves to the audience, and your introduction, please include experiences you have had that will prepare you for this position. Since we are starting with candidate Kilby, we will start with candidate Streight. Candidate Streight, the floor is yours. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. I'm Adam Streight, a Republican for County Executive. I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this forum and for Yvette for moderating. There are 5 pillars to a thriving society: safe communities, good schools, a strong local economy driven by small businesses, low tax rates, and honest government. You agree with me because these are your legislative priorities. 25 years of law enforcement taught me what public safety is and what it takes to achieve it. I know we can't attract businesses to Cecil County if your customers and employees don't feel safe or our schools are undervalued. In fact, compromised public safety leads to neglected schools, and underfunded schools leads students to drugs and crime. Both lead to higher taxes, a reduced workforce, and a crumbling infrastructure. While government services need to be properly funded to improve our quality of life, we must remain vigilant in our spending and guard against waste and the need to raise taxes. The good news is that our priorities align, and when you're voted on November 5th, we can turn toward a brighter future. Achieving this requires strong leadership to bring us together in solving problems. As county executive, I will be that leader. I want to earn your vote, and I look forward to our conversation tonight.
Candidate Kilby, you have 90 seconds.
We tend to be a county of outdoors people. We enjoy being able to step out to garden, walk our dogs, kayak, ride our horses or bikes, participate in youth sports programs, or just take a walk. Our open spaces and waters are important to us. For 25 years, I have worked with a group of people who have provided protection for our outdoors, the Cecil Land Trust. We have helped increase your ability to buy meats, dairy, honey, produce, and flowers directly from local farms. You now have more than 40 direct farm outlets to choose from. All told, we have one of the best outdoor experiences you can have in the state. This spring, voters said that they wanted to improve our indoor education system, our schools, libraries, and college. In 4 years, Cecil County has dropped from the middle of the pack in per pupil spending to the lowest in the state. Our pupil spending is the gauge that is used to determine the county's commitment to investment in the future. Our college has grown to a higher education hub, attracting nursing students from around the region by funding is very much an issue. Fixing these disparities or making a commitment to investing in our future, a future that involves the best quality education.
Our first question. Candidate Kilby, you will be answering first. You will have 90 seconds to answer. No, a minute to answer, correct? 90 seconds to answer. All right. Do you consider Cecil County a safe place for families to live, work, and play? Why or why not? What steps do you recommend to enhance public safety, including measures to attract and retain certified, well-trained law enforcement officers and emergency medical services personnel? Candidate Kilby, you have 90 seconds.
I consider Cecil County a safe place to raise a family, to live and work and play. We are very much a place that, as I said in my opening statement, we're outdoors people. We enjoy our water. We enjoy being able to hike. At this point, the county sheriff's department is one of the better ones around as far as being able to work with what they've got. I've been to a number of sheriff's department open houses and such, and find that the deputies are members of the community. And as far as what steps do you recommend to enhance public safety, is one of the things I learned is that we lack really good communications with Newcastle County. We're unable to communicate with them by radio, and the fact that the sheriff's department, in talking with the sheriff, has the same problems as other sheriff's departments trying to recruit officers, and they're doing the best they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Kilby. Candidate Streight, do you consider Cecil County a safe place for families to live, work, and play? Why or why not? What steps do you recommend to enhance public safety, including measures to attract and retain certified, well-trained law enforcement officers and emergency medical services personnel?
So this is something that I do for a living, and we've been dealing with this for the last 25 years that I've been here. We are doing better than other areas, but that is a strong testament to our police and what they're doing their best to hold things together with the limited resources that they have. But let's not fool ourselves. It can be easy to be unaware of violent crime if you live in a rural area or on a farm. But for many of our fellow citizens, it is very, very real. 4 years ago, I was at a crime scene where a 6-year-old kid was shot inside his house for simply being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And just this year, that same kid was shot again inside his house for being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Earlier this year, a young man was executed in front of his house in broad daylight. Bullets are flying too easily in Cecil County, and this needs to stop. Our police are handcuffed by limited funding and nonsensical laws passed in Annapolis that hinder their ability to do their job. And yet, as community members, we bear some responsibility in working together to find the solutions to the socioeconomic problems that lead to crime. To bring this prosperity to Cecil County, we need businesses here to invest where families can thrive in safe communities.
We're going to go on to our second question. Candidate Streight, you will be going first. Recognizing that children and youth learn and grow in different environments, what do you think about the after-school and weekend activities currently available for them in our community? Do we need more options, and if so, what kind? How will you develop and support these activities?
So, I think we need to do more. I think that for our kids to succeed in life, we need to take education a little more seriously than what we've done. All 3 of my kids are products of Cecil County Public Schools, and they turned out great. Not that long ago, we were last in 6th grade reading comprehension, and now we're 3rd in the state. Other counties are coming here to learn how we did it. If our amazing teachers were able to make that leap from last to 3rd with the limited resources that they had, can you imagine what they could have accomplished if we invested just a little bit more? The underfunding of education over the last 4 years really put us in a hole that will take us a while to climb out of. It will take cooperation between the Board of Education and my administration to meet the needs of the school system balanced with the needs of the taxpayer. And while this requires working together to find solutions, it also requires honesty. Committing to arbitrary amounts without knowing revenue or deficit projections over the next few years is not leadership. is pandering. And I'm proud to be the only candidate on this stage to be endorsed by the Cecil County Classroom Teachers Association because they know my commitment in finding solutions to sustainable funding.
Recognizing that children and youth learn and grow in different environments, what do you think about the after-school and weekend activities currently available for them in our community? Do we need more options, and if so, what kind? How will you develop and support these activities?
Well, I've been active with the Cecil County 4-H Club for over 30 or 40 years, and I find that these youth development programs can achieve really good results. The YES program is another one I've been looking at, and I find that these activities that these groups put on are able to distract the children from what might be the less desirable things in their communities. For more options, I know that funding the Parks and Recreation system, the after-school programs, the Little Leagues and so forth really have achieved great success, and we need to invest more in these programs with an idea that they do pay off. Thank you.
Candidate Kilby, you will be answering first. Businesses cite the need for a skilled workforce when they consider moving to or expanding within Cecil County. How do you plan to collaborate with businesses, schools, and the community to build a strong workforce? And what steps will you take to ensure sufficient funding and other resources are available to support these efforts? Candidate Kilby.
I've been a member of BPAC for 20 years, and we, through BPAC, we supplement, businesses supplement the teachers programs, new teachers, and also supplies for teachers coming in at the beginning of the year. So BPAC has been a very effective group in helping the schools in helping the schools give enough money to teachers to make them effective. And I do want to, I have a concept that we should expand the technical school into a full-time high school. There's a real need for it. At this point, the tech school is pretty full, as I understand, and that we need to do more to make new courses available as the demand comes up.
Thank you, Candidate Kilby. Candidate Streight. Businesses cite the need for a skilled workforce when they consider moving to or expanding within Cecil County. How do you plan to collaborate with businesses, schools, and the community to build a strong workforce? And what steps will you take to ensure sufficient funding and other resources are available to support these efforts?
So workforce development is the cornerstone of economic development and is largely the product of the incredible public school system we have here in Cecil County. Cecil College, our host for this evening, is a great partner and contributor to workforce training. The Cecil County School of Technology is a great start, but we can do better. I want to enhance and expand the partnerships Cecil County Public Schools has with local businesses to hire and train our students to develop a homegrown workforce that will attract well-paying jobs right here in Cecil County because of a dynamic and well-trained workforce. We have a great example of that already. UtiliTrain, the training division of our own AUI Power here in Cecil County, partners with CCPS to recruit and train students, teaching them to be linemen. These are very good paying jobs, and and with room for growth and advancement, the type of jobs that can dramatically improve students' quality of life. And we have that right here in Cecil County. We need to expand that model and recruit other fields to make that same investment in our community. This is the type of innovation, this is the type of innovative leadership we need that my administration will bring.
We will now move on to our fourth question for the evening. Thank you. Candidate Streight, we will start with you. Describe your plan for the first 90 days in office. Candidate Streight.
So I have a 100-day plan. First thing we need to do is job number one. Your first legislative priority is public safety. We're going to figure out a way to keep and retain our Cecil County Sheriff's deputies, our EMS personnel, our correctional officers, and our dispatchers. We have to, because everything else rests on having safe communities. We're also going to sit down with our small businesses. I've done that already. And one of the biggest complaints I hear is the tone deafness of county government when it comes to their needs. For example, the amount of time it takes for permits and inspections, for them to get their business done with the county. That's not right. We want you to succeed. The faster you succeed in your business with Cecil County, the faster that you can make money, and that comes into the tax base, and the faster that we can fund the things that need to be funded without raising taxes. It's all about efficiency in government. And for my first 100 days, if we do our job right, you're going to see marked improvement in your interactions with Cecil County government, because it's all about customer service. It's all about you. Thank you.
Candidate Kilby, describe your plan for the first 90 days in office.
Well, the county executive job is to see that services are delivered. And the first 90 days, I would increase the school spending by $15 million. That is the same amount that the present administration has given to property owners as tax rebates. So we know the money's there. They recently put in another $17 million into the reserve, the rainy day fund. And so we know the money's there to improve the school situation right off. The other part is, of course, doing a financial audit to find out where all the money is. There seems to be a problem of anybody really knowing where the money is. And so opening the courthouse again, tearing down the wall that separates the people's building from the people, so that we can improve the services, especially getting permits. It seems to be one of the holdups that a lot of people run into. And so it's funding the schools, returning the services, repairing the potholes in the roads, all the things that a county executive is supposed to do.
We will move on to our fifth question. And candidate Kilby, we will start with you. If elected, what 3 steps would you take to put our county on firmer financial footing?
Well, it's actually on a very firm foundation. So actually finding, as I said, where the money is. Going in and doing an audit and finding out why we aren't doing the things we need to do now. So there's no point, I don't see any reason why we should raise taxes. There shouldn't be a need for it. We just need to find out where the money is. And one of the things that has happened in the past is they really haven't They really don't need all this drama when it comes to the end of the year and the school is asking for so much money. All these decisions, as far as budgeting is concerned, should be decided in a business-like way all year long. So when the budgets, the figures come out from the departments and what they need, everybody knows that it's been worked out ahead of time, and we don't need to accuse people of malfeasance and those kinds of policies that a manager would never do. You would, as a manager, you would never call out your employees in public. It's not something you just don't do.
Thank you, Candidate Streight. If elected, what 3 steps would you take to put our county on firmer financial footing?
We need to prioritize what needs to be funded. And that's really what governing is. It's priorities. We have a finite amount of money because we're not going to raise taxes to raise revenue. So what we give to one, we have to take from another. That's just governing. And it's about prioritizing what's important. Right now, public safety, education, infrastructure, things that make our quality of life worth living here in Cecil County. Number 2, we need to live within our means. Again, you look at this pot of money, this is what we have to spend. Right now, nobody on the stage knows what our revenue projections are going to be for the next few years, what our deficit projections are going to be for the next 3 years. We don't know because we're not privy to that information unless one of us gets in that office. So we need to look at what we have and again prioritize. And then number 3, we need to attract businesses that provide good paying jobs right here to Cecil County, which means we educate a local workforce that these businesses can tap into. This will add to the tax base and allow us to fund the things that need funding without raising taxes.
We will now move on to our 6th and final question for this evening, and then we will have wrap-ups after that. Candidate Streight, you will go first. What are the 3 biggest problems in Cecil County that motivated you to run for office? What are your recommendations to address these problems? Candidate Streight, the floor is yours.
Me? All right. Apathy. I think sometimes, or at least it appears to those of us here at the bottom, that the people on top don't listen. They don't want to hear what we have to say. For 25 years, when you called 911, I showed up. And it was my job to try to solve your problem. Sometimes you wanted it solved in 5 minutes, and that wasn't always possible to do. But we looked for solutions. It might not sound important, but to you, when you reach out to your government, it makes it important. So if it's important to you, it's important to me. And I feel like that's missing. I'm sure a lot of people in this room feel like that's missing. There's also a lack of transparency, or at least that's what the perception is. We complain a lot about government doing things and springing things on us, but we don't take the time to go to council meetings and to listen to these things that are being done. So instead of complaining about lack of transparency, I wanted to do something about it and put my name on a ballot. And number 3 is the Cecil County is my home. I want us to live in safe communities. For 25 years, I tried to provide that, and for the next 4 years, I want to continue.
Thank you, Candidate Kilby. What are the 3 biggest problems in Cecil County that motivated you to run for office? What are your recommendations to address these problems?
So my recommendations are that we fund the schools immediately. The money is there. The other is we need to take care of this lack of services, and that includes road paving and the ability to get permits as needed. And then we actually, we haven't, apparently the last administration said that we don't really deserve good schools, good libraries, a good college. And I'm trying to figure that out of why we should think we are undeserving of the best we can have. The money's there, there's no reason we can't. And so what we really need is a real change in attitude in this county about how we allot our money and how we see investing in children as the best thing we can possibly do. As I say, the money's there, there's no real reason we can't do it.
So each candidate will now have 1 minute to wrap up. We will start with candidate Kilby. The clock says 1 minute 30, but you have 1 minute, so the floor is yours.
So we're talking about a real change instead of just changing one Republican for another. One of the advantages of having a Democrat as county executive would be, this is a Democratic state. The chances of us getting more money from the state into Cecil County improve when that happens. So having more Democrats and a more balanced kind of government and a real change in the kind of attitude that we need to have to make this county, I hate to use the word great, but great. There's no reason. I mean, I'd like to hear the reason why we don't deserve the best schools and the best libraries and the best college we can have. There's no reason. The money's there. Thank you.
Candidate Streight, you'll have 1 minute. Again, the clock says 1:30, but you have 1 minute. Floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation. Public safety is job number one, and is the foundation of our 5 pillars of safe communities, good schools, low taxes, a strong local economy, and honest government. My experience in county government and expertise in public safety makes me uniquely qualified to bring strong leadership in all of us working together to meet the challenges ahead. I'm a conservative, and I will govern as a conservative, but I will be a county executive for everybody, not just my base. That means listening to what is important to our constituents and trying to see things through the eyes of the other person. While I won't compromise my principles, I won't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We will get things done. I'm Adam Streight, and as county executive, I will work every day to make Cecil County better and improve our quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you both for participating in tonight's event. You may now join the audience.